Anytime you're ready.
Where are you
Yes.
from? Are you from here?
I'm from Flanders. In
Oh, from
France.
Flint? Oh, really? Okay.
Yes,
yeah, wow.
yes.
You've been here for a while.
I moved 6 years ago. Yeah, and I actually just moved to LA 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there you go. So these battle scenes are very intense. So I would like to know, what is it like filming that?
Intense, yeah. Right. You do it bit by bit, piece by piece. There's a lot of elements that have to come together. Not only the camera, but all the actors, all the extras, the stunt guys, the special effects, because a lot of them are practical. They're there on the spot. And, there's a lot of people that have to get into sync. So, you don't do these things alone. I can ask for things, which I do. And man, people delivered. I was very proud of all of them. And, geez, I think the battle scenes, for limited time and money, I think they're pretty good. I mean, they're in your face, so that's good.
And this isn't like anything we've ever seen on film, like it's very gory, and but it's also very justified.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think Okinawa was the greatest loss of life in the Pacific, and the Japanese talked about a steel rain of bullets and the bombardments and the fire, and it was it was pretty bad. So I think we had to do justice to the reality of what that must have been. And I think also that level of like that visceral, making the audience feel like they're in a foxhole is necessary so that they can appreciate the level of heroism and conviction and courage it must have taken to crawl into that unarmed and just save people.
Yeah.
In an impossible situation. I mean, in a situation that reduces most men to the level of animals, to have someone rise to almost a spiritual plane, to hone his, perfect himself in the midst of that hell is kind of the pinnacle of heroism.
Yeah, and I couldn't help but thinking about the wife, like, she doesn't know what's happening out there.
No.
Like, that's what's really, to me, it's just unreal. Like, I think you can go to battle, come back, and nobody will ever understand it.
No, that's true. And I think that a lot of veterans feel that people don't understand it because they haven't been there. And I only have an inkling of it from talking to a bunch of guys for so long. And then I imagine it and try and get into their heads and how it must feel and the level of PTSD and trauma and I mean, it must break their hearts.
Well, and back in the day, they didn't even know anything about PTSD. That wasn't even diagnosed. I think it was a bad thing back in the day.
Yeah, it was called shell shock. It was looked on with weak back, but oh my God,
Yeah.
That's why I had the man's father portrayed that way, because it was PTSD before they had a name for it.
Right.
What it just looked like alcoholism, mean guy, but in fact, there's a reason for that, torture. He loathes himself. He's seen too much. He can't go back. I mean, it's a damage. It's an indelible mark.
Yeah.
And you never get rid of it. And, I've talked to veterans from every war, from World War I up till now, and it's the same.
Yeah.
And it's always been there. So.
Yeah.
And now it's a real problem. It's epidemic. So those guys need a little attention. I hope the film brings a little attention to that. And that's why we put the dad in there, to sort of show you PTSD. And Desmond, too, at the end when he comes off the hill, I mean, he's clearly like, as you would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.